Hi everybody, it's Deb here with Travia's Hobbies and Crafts and Creative Life. Thanks for commenting and subscribing to my channel, and welcome to all my new YouTubers. Today we are going to start our mini album for the Traviata Mini Album. This is the Ciao Bella paper that I got from J&S Hobbies and Crafts, and it's simply gorgeous. If you haven't seen this yet, y'all need to go over and there is a show all video that shows you what I got from my design team packet. And so today we're going to be starting this. So here we go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut our chipboard. Okay, so you will cut your chipboard by 6.5 by 8 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and fast forward. Okay, so now I'm back and we've cut our chipboard, and you're going to again cut your chipboard at 6.5 by 8 3/4, and then your spine is going to be at 2 1/4 by 8 3/4. Okay, so we're going to, those are now finished. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can cover it. So to cover our book, we're going to go ahead and use the craft paper that is by Heartfelt Creations. Okay, and we probably really won't need that much, but we're going to go ahead and put these two together. Okay, or actually, you know what? We're going to use, hold on, we are going to use two pieces of the 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This will actually be a little bit easier, and we won't have so much cutting and waste from the 12 by 12 paper. So you'll need two pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and we're going to go ahead and put them together like this, back to back. So you'll need a piece of tape right down this side here, and you'll overlap it like this. Okay, and so that's what we're going to do now. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and use my 1/4 inch tape. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and put one right down. Oh, I'm running out. So I'm going to grab my extra one. Like that. And I'm putting it right just a little bit on the edge. I'm leaving just a bit there. Okay. And just want to make sure I get the sticky part. Alright, so I just need to open up a new one. And again, you can get this score tape. It's a 1/4 inch over at J&S Hobbies and Crafts.com. And I'm just going to let the end of that up. Actually, I'm going to overlap it. So I'm going to lift that up, and I'm just going to overlap that right on top of the other one, and then just go down, just so that way I know it's bonded together. And then we're going to go ahead and stick these two together, just like this. And I'm just overlapping it. Okay. Just like that. And you're just going to smooth that down. Okay, just like that. So, there you go. Okay, so for the next part, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our pieces here. Okay, and I like to leave about, of course I still leave my little 1/8 of an inch here. And usually what I do is I get my ruler and I'll put it in between my chipboards. And I know that that's where, like, it's going to fit right in there. Okay, and that's where I butt up my chipboard once I lay it down. Okay, I like to leave about 1 inch all the way around. Now this will be a little bit shorter, but that's okay because we're going to cover it. So that is okay. So in order to give it 1 inch, let's see, I think we have about 1 inch here and then 1 inch on the other side here. Or you could just do a 1/2 inch if you wanted to do that, because that's what this is right here, which is about, it's about actually a little over 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and put tape on this now. And I just put tape. Usually, sometimes I'll use the sheets. If I don't have the sheets, I'll go ahead and just use my score tape. Okay, and you can use, I'm using the 1/4 inch. You can use the bigger one if you want to. So you can use the 3/8 inch if you want to do that. So I might go ahead and switch and grab my 3/8 inch. Okay, and for my 3/8 inch, I go all the way to the end, and then I will go ahead and put, I think, about, let's see, 3 or 4 more strips in the middle here. Okay. So first I'll do my ends. Go ahead and put one down the middle. And I'm just burnishing it down while I'm adding my tape. If you have the sheets, it goes a little bit faster. Okay, and you don't have to use so much of your roll with the larger tape. So. And I am just going to go ahead and keep doing this, and then I'll be back. Okay, guys, so now we've got all of our chipboard wrapped, and I went ahead and wrapped the spine and everything too. And now we'll just go ahead and put our chipboard down. And I'm just going to go ahead and take all these pieces off. And I'm just going to lay this part of my chipboard, okay, down. I'm just going to lay it right here. Okay, and I'm just going to lay that right in the middle of that seam. Okay. Right there, just like that. And then that way I know where to place these two right next to it. Okay. So it makes it a little easier for me. Okay. Okay, so then the next thing you're going to do is I take my ruler. I don't know how, if you know a different way how to measure your, where to put your chipboard, but I use my ruler because it's about the right thickness that I need. Okay, so get my chipboard, and I'm just going to butt this ruler up to the edge of this right here on my paper. Okay, and I go ahead and I scoop my ruler down and make sure that it's even. The end is even with the edge of this. So I hold it like this. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then I go ahead and I put my chipboard. I know that my chipboard's going to go right alongside there. Okay, just like that. And then that creates my little crease right there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, make sure all my tape is in there. And then I'm going to line this up right against here. Again. Okay. Make sure my ruler is right up at the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my chipboard. And I'm going to go ahead and butt my chipboard up right against that. And I just want to make sure it's even before I stick it down. There it is. Now here on this side, I might have a little less here, so I might go ahead and trim off a little bit. That's not a very big area there, so I might go ahead and just add a piece of paper here to that to make it a little bit longer to come over the edge. Okay, this is a little bit longer than that, so it's okay. So to do that, though, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that until I'm ready to fold everything inward. And right now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and grab our bone folder or whatever you use, and you're just going to go ahead and go along the top of your mini album just to crease it. Okay, and I go ahead and I crease in here too. So you want to just grab your bone folder and make that crease in there. Same here on the outside. Over. And I'm going to flip this one to the back because this I need to add to it, so I want this part to be on my back. And then again, just go ahead and fold that over. Okay, then you can go ahead and start bending your paper inward and just kind of fold it over. Okay. And just like that. Okay, and then you want to do the bottom. Just like this. And I go ahead and lay my bone folder, whatever I'm using, right up against that chipboard. Okay, just kind of smooth that out there. Okay, whoops. All right, and then here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to burnish that down. That side, and then same thing here. Bring that in, kind of push a little bit on your paper. Make your smooth, your edges smooth, okay? And then you're just going to burnish that down, okay? Just like that. Alrighty? So there you go. So that's that. Now, how I do my edges, I actually do them a bit different. So I cut them not at an angle. So to do this, I go ahead and I angle in just a bit, okay, here, and then here. It's kind of the same concept, however, for me, this works a little bit better. Again, you're going to go ahead and just a tad here, and a tad here. Okay, and then here we're going to do it just a bit. Now we can angle it a little bit more if we wanted to. Okay, so I left these two here like this. And the reason why is because I need to add some paper to this part right here. So you're going to go ahead and cut, or I'm going to go ahead and cut, just actually the 8.5 here, or actually 8 3/4. Okay, and I'm just going to cut that, and I'm only going to cut about 2 inches, maybe an inch. Okay, so I cut 1.5 inches, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this in here like this, okay? And I'm going to cut it down at 8 3/8. Actually, I'm just going to mark that. Just with my, I'm just going to mark it like this. Okay, and then I just can cut it. Okay, and then I can go ahead and tape that on there like this, and that will be a little piece right here. It'll serve as an extension of that, okay, and it'll just fold over. Okay, so then what I'm going to do here is going to go ahead and just put some tape down in here, just like this. Okay. I'm just going to burnish that tape down, put that off, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that over just like that. And so now that will serve as this. And this right here, the line right here will be covered. So, you know, even though I have this whole area here, I can still butt my paper up on this and still leave my 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch border from on my when I cover this. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. Again, I'm going to go ahead and smooth that down, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish that, just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut a little piece. Just going to go ahead and cut just that little piece there. And you're just tapering it in just a bit, okay? You're not doing it a whole bunch, okay? So now when you fold this in, now you have a nice flap, okay? So you can also do it like this, okay? And again, you can go ahead and taper these in more, however you want to do it. So, which I will probably do after we lay these down. So, usually, okay. So, now I'm just going to go ahead and put glue on, and we're going to go ahead and taper these in. So here, I'm going to go ahead, and you can, some people use their tape. You can use your tape if you want to, okay? So they use their tape all the way around here, and I don't do that, but I can. Okay, and then here I just go ahead and I burnish these down just like this. All right. So there we go. And now we're just going to go ahead and fold these in. So I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom first, since I have that glue on there. Okay, and I put a generous amount of glue, not like that, but usually I put a lots of glue because I don't want it to come apart. So, but I do put a pretty good amount on there. That's okay. Just go ahead and get your little napkin and clean that up, okay? And then here on this side, go ahead and put some glue on the edges, and then some glue over here. And then I'm just going Okay. And then here, again, go ahead and close that down. Put some glue here. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of putting a generous amount on the edges. Okay. And then I'm closing it. All right. So, there we go. And then I'm going to go back over and just squeeze this down. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And this in here. Just kind of work those little bubbles out of there. Okay. Okay, once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and just press in. Okay. And then you're not going to press really hard, but you want to make sure that your book is going to close. Okay, just like that. And I've got some glue in the inside, and that's okay. It will dry clear. Plus, after we get it wrapped, you'll be able to even see it. So okay, so for the next part, we're going to go ahead and do the hinge. So now that we're done with our book, we need to go ahead and make our hinges and our binding for our book. So you're going to go ahead and grab one sheet of 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Okay. And we are actually going to cut that down to 8 1/8 by 10. Okay. Whoops. What is going on? So 8 1/8 by 10. So I'm just going to cut this down real quick. Alrighty. Okay. And then you're going to lay this down on your 10-inch side. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in quite a bit so you guys can see. And we are going to start the scoring at 1 inch. Okay. 1 3/8. 1 7/8. 2 3/4. Or I'm sorry, yeah, 2 3/8 first. So 2 3/8, and then 2 3/4. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and do so 2 3/4, and then we're going to do 3 1/4. 3 3/4. Okay. 4 1/8. 4 5/8. 5 1/8. Okay. Speed that up just a bit. So 5 1/8, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2. Okay. And 6 7/8. And that's it. So that should give us four hinges for our pages. Okay. So if you want to, you can go ahead and cut off this end here, which is about 1 inch. So you can cut off it and leave 1 inch here on this side. So move this out of the way real quick. I'm going to go ahead and leave an inch here. So, whoops. So I'm just lining it up with my last 4 line. And then cut that part off. Okay. And then what I'm going to show you is how I go ahead and mark where my hinges are. And where our score lines are, the 1/2 inch ones that we just did, okay, is where your hinge is going to fold up as a mountain, is what I like to call it. So, so you're going to count over to the 3rd score line, and you're going to put a 1 there, okay? And then you're going to count over again. So you'll do 1, 2, you'll do 1, 2, 3. That's number 2. And then you go 1, 2, 3. That's number 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And that's number 4. So you'll go ahead and you should have like a thinner piece right in between each of the numbers, and that is going to be your gusset. Okay, so you'll have a gusset here at the end, at the beginning, and 1 at the end. Okay, so now we can go ahead and fold it, and you can fold this back. Okay, and then you can fold it back, okay, or forward, whatever one you want to do. And then you're going to fold it, and you're just going to keep going back and forth, or you can do it the easy way. I like to do it this way too. I just grab my paper and I fold this over, and then fold this over like this, and then I fold it back. So there is our 1 right here, okay, and we need to fold that part right there. So, yep. So there is 1 hinge, okay, and then this part's already folded, so now you just need to grab this part, and I go ahead and raise it up, bring it in, and over. Okay, so there's 2, okay, and then you can just keep doing that. Just go ahead and grab number 3, bring it in, because when you bring those up in your mountain where your hinges are, this part, those other gussets, those other score lines will fold in, okay, and then fold back, okay, but it's however you want to do. I know a lot of people do their own folding their own way, and you know, whatever works for you, you can do that. I just like to do it this way. To me, it's just easier for me. And then I fold it over and over, and then I know I know where my hinges are, and I know where my gussets are. So then this one will go backwards. Okay, so that's going to be our back. So those are our hinges. Okay, so you should have 4 of them. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and put tape. So you're going to flip it over, and where you have valleys is what I like to call these, okay, that's where you're going to stick your tape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my 3/8 inch tape, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in that valley here, and I'm just putting it down towards the score line. I'm just going to grab my little scraper here, and I'm just going to do every valley, okay, where our hinges, okay, just like that. And I know a lot of people have, you know, their own way of doing things. There's tons and tons of tutorials on how to make your hinges for your mini albums. So, and there's different types of hinges. So whatever hinge you are used to making, or whatever hinge you would like to make, you can do that. Okay, so now that we have our tapes on there, you're just going to go ahead and peel off your tape. Okay, and you're going to bring those valleys in together. Okay, so you're going to bring that in and line up your valleys, your score lines. Okay, just like that. So now we have two of our hinges together. Okay, and then again, you're going to go ahead and take off your tape. There's that one. And again, you're just going to bring in your valley, bring it over, then bring this one over, and now our hinges are together. So there we go. So you should have something like this. And we marked our hinges, and that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what you should have. Okay. And then for this part, you can fold these back. Okay. And you can put tape down this way and tape on the other side of this score line. Okay. You don't want to put tape on this score line right here yet. Okay, you're going to fold it in like this. So when you're done, it should look like this. Oops. So when you're done with taping, it should look like this. Okay, and that way you have a gusset at the beginning and you have a gusset at the end. Okay, so this will fit right on top of our book on our spine, just like that. Okay, so just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and tape this. Okay, so go ahead and I am going to tape, you can tape, actually you can lay this down. Just like that. Okay, and you can just go ahead and tape all along down here. Just like that. And I am just going to go ahead and fast forward through this part. Okay. Okay, so now my hinge is all ready to get glued on, okay? And so now all I have to do is just cover this part of my book, okay? So before I stick my hinge on. So to do that, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pan out just a bit, okay? And we're going to go ahead and cover this part, okay? And what I'm going to do is grab a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down. And I'm going to, you know what? We're going to use this here. We're going to cut this down and cover this part, okay? And the middle part. I think this is the right size I want, so. Yep. Okay, So you're going to need a piece of paper that is 8.5. Okay. So you're going to need a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 11. Okay. So you just grab one from your stock and you're just going to sit that right along that side. And that's going to leave a nice border for us, about 1/8 inch on below and on the top part, I believe. It will leave you a really nice border on that. So, okay. And so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just put some tape on the back of this, and then I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and put tape along here, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove my tape, and then we're going to go ahead and cover this. Now I'm not covering all the way, there's going to be a border, of the chipboard showing, but we're going to cover that with our paper. So I just want to have a nice look to my, for my spine. So here I'm just going to lay this down, and I'm leaving a tiny border. I'm just making sure that it's kind of even. Okay. So I'm just going to lay that down. Just like that. Okay. So once we get that on, now you just need to go ahead and grab your little, whatever you use, your bone folder or whatever, to make that crease. Okay. And you're just going to gently pull up. Okay. Make sure that it's really burnished down. Okay. And you're just going to gently fold that up just a bit. Just like that. Okay. I'm just going to bend that in gently. Okay. And then same thing on this side. You're going to go ahead and find that crease. And trying to find it. And I'm just going to gently run my little scraper over that, or my bone folder. Just gently creasing that, okay? And as I'm creasing that, I'm going to go ahead and gently bring this up. Okay? Just like that. So now there is our area for our spine. I mean, for our hinge. And we can lay that down. I keep calling it spine because this is the spine. This is our hinge. So, okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and just gently lay that down, making sure that my tape is folded over, and then I have it like in the middle part. And this light is kind of hard for me to see, so I'm going to turn my book this way. And make sure that I have an even amount on both sides, because I don't want it to be lopsided or okay, all right, that's even. So that's how I put mine on. Okay. So now we're good to go. So now that your spine is on, just like that, okay, then we're going to go ahead and we can decorate the inside. And then we're also going to be making our pages. So for your pages, we are going to go ahead and do those, okay? And okay, guys, I'm back. So For your pages, you are going to go ahead and need two 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Now you can use your 12 by 12 if you want to. You would just need to cut it down and then, save your scraps for later. But for this page, you will need to actually use your premium cardstock. And I'm using the Crafty Smooth Texture that is over from J&S Hobbies and Crafts. And so the first page you're going to cut is going to actually be at 6 1/4. Okay, so we're going to cut at 6 1/4, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, just this. Okay, so this one's at 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. So 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, just like that. Okay, so that is going to be your first first one you cut. The second one you cut is actually going to be at 6 3/4. So 6 3/4. Okay, by 9 1/4. And this is how you're going to make all your base pages. Now we are going to add some flips and things to this, so to our pages here. So you will have some added things to that. And then here you're going to go ahead and score a 1/2 inch on the 6 3/4 side. Okay, and only on one side. You're going to flip it around and score another 1/2 inch on the 9 1/4 side. So you're going to score a 1/2 inch there. And then you can flip it back over on the other side of the 9 1/4 inch and score another 1/2 inch. Okay. Then you're going to go ahead and grab your scissors. Okay. And you're going to go ahead and cut where that X is. So right along where that X is, that's where you're going to cut. Okay. And then you can go ahead and fold those in. Now for this, you can go ahead and use your tape or your glue, or if you use both, you can do that. Whatever you want to do. Okay, just like that. So this is going to actually fit right on top of there. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my glue. Okay. I'm just putting some glue in there. Put some glue right here. And then this is going to go right on top of there. Okay. And you're just going to line up those ends. Just like that. And that page should just go ahead and fit right into our book. So, where did I put the book? I wrote it somewhere. Oh, here it is. I'm going to put the scoreboard on top of it. So our page will fit right in there just like that. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And that is going to be our first page. Now don't put these inside of your book yet, okay? So we still have some things that we need to finish in, put on here. So you are actually going to go ahead and make all of your pages like this, okay? So go ahead and do that. All right, and then you're going to need 4 of those. Again, you just follow. I have the written instructions for you, so you'll just go ahead and make 4 pages that are like this, and I'll make mine, and I will be right back.